Refreshing you with the best music, news, and more. Star 103.5. Simply the best.
Good morning, it's 6 a.m. GMT, and with just 3 days remaining until the 2024 elections, you're listening to the Star Breakfast News with me, Nanama Akwa, and here are this morning's headlines. Coming up, Kodeo expresses concern over alleged voter inducement by security personnel in special voting, warns of possible escalation on election day. Also coming up, GJA president urges journalists to prioritize safety ahead of upcoming elections.
Don't be the story. You are not supposed. You are not supposed to go and demonstrate. And I'm the journalist. I'm this. No, my right.
And later, running mate of the NDC questions the whereabouts of Cape Coast Airport promised by Dr. Baumia in 2020. We've got these details and more coming soon. Do stay. Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA, also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch. You're listening to the Star Breakfast News with me, Nanama Akwa. Now, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers has expressed concern over the surprising actions of security personnel allegedly involved in voter inducement during the recently concluded special voting, which occurred in 14 regions. The coalition also raised alarms about potential plans to escalate such activities on election day. The National Democratic Congress candidate for Ayawaso West Wuogon, John Dumelo, has petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate the Member of Parliament for the constituency, Lydia Seyram Al-Hassan, over allegations of voter inducement. The party is calling for the OSP to hold Lydia Al-Hassan and her supporters accountable. Speaking to Star News, National Coordinator of Kodeo, Albert Ahin, emphasized the need to address this issue promptly to prevent it from escalating.
Let me say good evening to your listeners first. I'm surprised because these things have been happening in other West African countries, and I never thought we could have same occurring in our country. We used to talk about it. I have seen it myself in some countries that are big. But it's surprising that it is being done here in Ghana. As our reporters are saying, some people were taking snaps, not pictures of their ballots. Apparently, I'm sure they were going to use it to collect other monies or something. It's really sad, and we need to nip it in the bud. It's not going to help our democracy, don't understand.
Now, President of the Ghana Journalists Association, Albert Kwabena Jumfo, has called on journalists in the country to prioritize their safety ahead of upcoming elections. According to him, media persons ought to cultivate the habit of telling the news rather than being at the center of it. Speaking on Starr today's campaign trail, Mr. Jumfo urged journalists to ensure their safety and well-being at all times on election day.
Your life matters, and you need to live to tell the story. Don't be the story. You are not supposed. You are not supposed to go and demonstrate. And I'm the journalist. I'm this. No, my right. Look, at that time, the GJ president is not there. At that time, your boss is not there. I know my right. Has led people to the grave. What it means is that you are there to discharge a constitutional mandate. You need to be able to defy all odds to make sure that your role or your responsibility there is duly achieved. That is what it is. And so, like I said, I commend the media that so far so good. These are we call political gains. Don't be in the middle. Don't be in the center. Stay back. Sometimes you need to always make sure that you are close to even defense, or there should be people. Your people should be around. You are close to some media, some journalists who may even rescue you in terms of danger. Or if there's even any war, see, you don't need to be in the midst. Someone can even hit you from behind. In the midst of crowd, you don't do it. Always guard yourself.
Now let's move over to the central region. The running mate of the opposition, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has questioned the whereabouts of the Cape Coast Airport promised by flag bearer of the MPP, Dr. Bawumia, in 2020. Now, nearly 4 years after the promise to build an airport in Cape Coast, government has not shown much commitment in ensuring the dream comes into a reality. Even though President Akufo-Addo has apologized that it was a mistake, the opposition NDC believes the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government has taken the people in the region for granted. But let's have a listen to Dr. Bawumia 4 years ago during the launch of his party's manifesto.
People of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. We are building a new harbor in Cape Coast and a new airport in Cape Coast. It is very critical that we do that. An airport makes a lot of sense in Cape Coast. It's a real tourist hub, and between Greater Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast, you have a triangle that really is a lot of hub of economic activity. You can build railway lines between them, and it's a major growth pole if we put an airport here to drive infrastructure growth.
Now, that was Dr. Bawumia 4 years ago, but Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman says after 8 years in government, the NPP has abandoned the central region and questioned where the Cape Coast Airport was built. Let's have a listen.
Obama oban the papa was school nine down so the wakobi one yendem. Yes, yamba no one go school no go the papa. One for certificate papa was to go when anyma oye and yam oba knows the back no. And you're on a year she said. It's a bush for yen and some pa. Cassia Ozimu. Ah, also be anodo. Name Yamazacha that may baby also be anodo. Do ya kwan, do ya harbor, do ya school, do ya airport. I don't know Beijing. I want kada with airport. I'm here. I'm down on the way. I'm on the moon. Into your pon, I want catch a baby airport in the war. Nay, you know, I ain't share. Na master that na afu gwan will paint ho. Dem wo dwene me apianye ne ho a. Wo dwene da ya brunda dado. Ya broda maze no do. He ye nya kwanye bio de eboto aba. Obi amfa nda nyibrisam. Na osanda yesefuna no wa yeye.
Now, with just barely 4 days to the general elections, the vice presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, has emphasized the significant increase in admissions to nursing training institutions under the ruling MPP government. He attributed this development to the restoration of nursing trainee allowances, which had been replaced with a student loan system during the previous National Democratic Congress administration. Now, speaking to the nursing trainees, Dr. Opoku-Prempeh highlighted the government's achievements in the health education sector, urging the students to vote for the NPP to ensure the continuation of policies that benefit their future.
If the numbers have doubled between 5 years and now, you can just imagine the numbers that were here before Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Nana Akufo-Addo came to office. When we came to office, they had cancelled nursing training allowance for 2 years. They had cancelled it. And every nursing school I go to, the population between that time and now has almost tripled or doubled. Just imagine those of you who are sitting here. What is the number on roll now? I know. 1,880. Imagine 8 years ago, right? There were just about 400, 500 students out here. So every third student you meet, count yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, and ask, where would you be but for free nursing training and free SHS? Ask yourself. Every 4 girls that congregate, right? 8 years ago, there will be only 1. Where would the rest have been? So never ever think that your tongue doesn't matter. Your tongue what? Matters.
And that's all we have for today's Star Breakfast News. My name is Nanama Aqua. For more news updates, click on starfm.com.gh. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.